Roger Federer, Paul Annacone reveals biggest difference with Pete Sampras. Federer and Sampras are two of the greatest names to have played on the game. The former boasts a men's record 19 Grand Slam titles, while the latter earned an impressive 14 majors during his playing days. Annacone coached Sampras during his heyday and also in the twilight of his career. He was also present during Federer's toughest stage, the barren spell of Grand Slams in the early 2010s. Federer won 2 major titles this year and finished the season as the world No. 2, a remarkable feat for a 36-year-old with his career supposedly winding down. Roger Federer is in a different mindset and a different mode about his tennis. Paul Annacone. But Annacone believes the reason Federer has managed to keep going is down to his attitude and assuredness on court. For Roger, he has done an amazing job of keeping a similar perspective throughout his career, Annacone told Express Sport. When I was with him, starting in 2010 and even talking to him this year 7 years later at 36 years of age, he generally perceives the losses very similarly to what he did when he was younger. When Pete got to the end of his career, he went through something that I think most people do, which is the losses start to hurt more and the winning doesn't feel as good. And that's because, and this is how I felt too as a player, the winning feels normal. You get to a certain level and you expect to win. So it doesn't feel as good. But when you lose and you see the window of your mortality starting to close, the losses start to hurt a little bit more because you feel like the clock is ticking. Yet with Roger this year in particular, he did an amazing job of being able to absorb and soak in that euphoric feeling of winning. And the few losses that he had, he only lost 5 times this year. He knew how to lose with a perspective very similar to what he did when he was younger. And that is because he has such a great sense of self. He has had such great good fortune in what he has been able to achieve that he is able to realize that, look, if I win, great, and if I lose and go on to the next tournament. Neither of these things are really going to have a huge impact in a negative way on what his legacy is. Federer's Australian Open triumph this year was his first Grand Slam since claiming the singles title at Wimbledon in 2012. That 4-year barren spell saw him reach 3 major finals and 5 semi-finals, but he just couldn't get over the line again. That all changed in Melbourne when he beat Rafael Nadal in 5 sets to claim his 18th major crown. Sampras, back in 2002, ended a 2-year wait for a final major when edging Andre Agassi 6-3, 6-4, 5-7, 6-4 in the US Open final. He never played competitive tennis again. Discussing the duo, Annacone added, Roger has an incredible sense of self and of what he has done. Whereas Pete at the end of his career he had a great sense of self, but he went 25 months without winning a tournament. So he was getting to a situation where he really wanted to finish on a strong note, and so frustration was starting to creep in. And Pete being Pete, he had an amazing way to focus and regroup, which is what he did at the end of his career to win that US Open in 2002. That was the last match he ever played, beating Andre in the final of the US Open. That was poetic for his career because 12 years earlier that was the stage where he jumped onto the global tennis scene when he beat Agassi at the US Open. Roger is in a different mindset and a different mode about his tennis.